Facebook, stuff that I can anyway. So, I've been posting the messages between me and my dad. He wanted to send me a message tonight saying that he was gonna come down here and help me with some things. Oh, yeah, sure you were, Dad. Always after the fact, huh? See, he wants to send me that message because he's mad. Why is he mad? Because I'm posting this shit up. I can't trust my dad. He already showed me that. He lost all rights to that privacy already. I gave him that privacy in Washington State. I allowed him his privacy in exchange for his help, which he never even tried. Not even once. Zero fucking effort. Matter of fact, not only was it zero effort to help me, all his efforts were spent berating me, treating me like shit over things he wasn't even there for. And many of these people, after the fact, they want to do that. Oh yes, the things that they were not there for, they throw that in my face as their excuse for the horrible shit that they did. Things that they weren't even there for. These idiots don't go back through like they should. I fess up to my shit, dumbass. If my dad had stopped and tried to be a dad for once, while I was in Virginia in October of 2016, if he had decided at that point that he wanted to try being a dad for once in his life, try to do something for Eric, instead of him hitting rock fucking bottom like he did. But my dad didn't care about him. My dad don't care about me. My dad cares about money. Screwed up, ain't it? When you try to bribe somebody, and that's the thing, my dad didn't shoot me straight. He come at me sideways, again, like a little bitch. He come at me sideways. Oh yeah, Sean, I'll send you $200 as a goodwill token, basically. Well, where the fuck is it? And if it's a goodwill token, why do you have stipulations that I take down evidence of your abuse? This is stupid. The things that you said and the paperwork that I have show that you lied. So maybe, I don't know, fess up? No, you can't do that. You newly found the Jesus. And since you found the Jesus, all your sins are absolved. You didn't do nothing wrong because you found the Jesus. Yeah. Laura Nelson thinks the same thing, and so does David Nelson. I read your book, dumbass. So then, of course, you guys know that 5-year-old trick. You know, the kid is sick of being force-fed broccoli. Well, throws it away, and Mom's mad. Mom's mad because he threw away the broccoli. Oh, I was going to buy you an ice cream, but you threw away the broccoli. Now you don't get any. Are you serious? And my dad thinks he's going to pull that. I'm 41 years old. And my dad thinks he's going to pull that shit on me. Oh, well, I was gonna. Don't fucking bullshit me, dumbass. Kayla Trujillo tried that crap too. Oh, Sean, I was gonna clear out one of the boys' room and let you stay there so we could actually help you. I was gonna, really, because she wasn't gonna. That was her excuse after fact. Oh, I was gonna help you. I was gonna help you. I was gonna help you. No, the fuck you weren't. You didn't make no goddamn mention of that to me. But, of course, after the fact, when it's already too late, then you're like, oh, well, I was gonna. No, you fucking wasn't. No, you fucking wasn't. And especially, and here's the fucking tough kicker right here, especially after the fact, the things that Kayla Trujillo had told me. After the fact, she just wants to play fucking stupid about it. Oh, damn. So, that right there is real fucking kicker, ain't it? People want to play fucking dumb after they do stupid shit. That stuff does often work on 5-year-olds, but I'm not a 5-year-old. Oh, look, you good? So, my dad pulling that crap. Oh, I was gonna help you with some stuff. You know what, Dad? You've ignored 6 years of fucking abuse. Are you fucking shitting me? Oh, you're gonna pretend you were gonna help me now? Are you fucking shitting me? There's a couple of recordings on my YouTube with my dad. Now, my dad is not entirely honest in those videos, and that's because he knew he was being recorded. So, of course, he absolved himself of his own sins, as people often do. Funniest part is people calling me liars for things that not only came out of their face or from them in their messages. That's the dumbest part. But it's also the fact that those things are already posted. Your words to me are posted, so you want to say that those things never happened. Well, why is that your voice saying it, Brian Schwartz? Why is that your voice in the video with me in those conversations? The fact that what's on my papers from the bank and the things that you said shows quite a bit of difference there. It also makes quite a bit of difference to this day. And it affected my ability to even get a bank account. I have to go through Walmart cards and shit like that without a permanent address to have this stuff sent to. I just got to take it up my backside. Somebody lit the wrong end of this cigarette, but I'll tear out the ass end and smoke it anyway. That situation with Rand Ingersoll in Cheyenne, that wouldn't have happened if my dad had decided not to be a piece of shit while I was up there. Situation in Hardin, Montana wouldn't have happened if my dad had given a shit when I first went up there. Having to stay with Brett Roloff, who was recorded on my YouTube channel digging through his own feces for a bag of meth that he had shat out. Yeah, that never would have happened if my dad had tried not being a piece of shit. He could have tried not being a piece of shit. It's not that difficult of a thing to understand that when someone is being victimized, they need help stopping it. But you're not willing to hear about the victimization or look at the evidence. You're just going to argue and make every excuse until it is too late. It is too late. Too late. If my dad gives a shit, he's actually got to do what the Bible says to do. He's got to profess by mouth. But he's got to do it in a court of law. He's got to do it publicly. He's got to do so in the media if he can swing it. These things aren't just happening to me, they're happening to literally hundreds of thousands of people in the United States who are broke, poor. People always want to wait until I fall on my face before they pretend they were going to help me. Like my dad, now that this disability bullshit. We tried that up in Washington. He didn't help. I had to go to the offices by myself. And the recording between him and I, one of them, he said that he offered to go in with me every morning. No, the fuck he didn't. No, the fuck he didn't. He told me I needed to. Me. I'd already done so. I needed him to stop fucking yelling at me and stop telling me to do things that I'd already done and gotten nowhere because I had to do it alone. Then he wants to love bomb me. Don't fucking do that. If I love you, I actually love you. Even when you fuck up. Each and every one of these people who have fucked me over, who have come to me for help afterwards, have still gotten it. When Desiree called me for help the second time, she still got it. When she needed help the third time, she still got it. Despite the horrible shit that she pulled. I had to go through advocates who were too cowardly to record anything, who wanted to make calls on my behalf. And instead of making calls on my behalf to set up an appointment, they just want to tell me what they claim happened, but they're not writing it down. They're not putting it in court. And when I try, I get called schizophrenic. I get called mentally ill as an excuse to deny me my human rights. Through all of this, I've admitted everywhere that I fucked up. I also admitted everything that I did right. When my predators wanted to threaten, harass, and intimidate me and send me threatening messages, threatening to harm me and my friends and family, I tried to let them know they didn't care. When fucked up shit was happening to them, they wanted to blame me. No, fuck you. That's not family. It's not my fault that you're too cowardly to come forward. It's not my fault that my little sister ripped me off for $1,850. And also that drone, which is, well, it brings it over the $2,000 range. Now, whether or not they intended on ripping me off for that drone, I don't think that they did. I want to believe that they'll return it. I want to believe that me being here in Oregon is the reason they can't. I actually bought that drone with the intention of helping to find missing people. There was a missing woman up at the parking lot here for several months. Hey, Dad, she's probably getting the same treatment as me, where she tried to turn in her abusers, and instead of being able to turn in her abusers, she's sent to a nuthatch. Injected with drugs, called mentally ill. That's how you got away with your shit, and that's how Mom got away with hers. You broke a lot of laws, forcing a 15-year-old to learn HTML so he can make porno sites. That's a pretty fucked up thing to do, and I'm pretty sure everybody can fucking agree with that. So it makes sense why my dad doesn't come forward about that. I already knew that my dad wasn't going to help. I knew that a long, long time ago. When he said that he would, though, I had to believe him because I had no one else. Peaches had lied to me, and don't get me wrong, I do understand that situation. All right? I really do. I understand the mothers on the street situation and the mothers even in houses having to jump through hoops, having to sell drugs to try to make ends meet. We got people in this town who are homeless who are selling drugs so that they can try to have a family. Got a kid on the way and all that shit. But you got to have a real job, and then you got to sell drugs on the side. You're poor. That's just how it is. With Kayla Trujillo, yeah, she admitted to selling drugs. She admitted to selling them since she was 16 years old. And on my YouTube channel, no doubt. The scary situation with Todd Ryan case. I mean, that was fucking... I want you to imagine this. Your best friend has disappeared, and you need help finding her, and your friend Todd is going to help you find her. But instead, he's abusing his girlfriend. He's getting fucked up on drugs and fucking screaming at her and screaming at you. And you're not allowed to scream back. All you can do is... How is Todd going to help me as fucked up as he was? I'd never seen him like that. And of course, I got Kayla Trujillo. She speaks about that too on my YouTube channel. About how she had to rescue Chloe Pachovas. Chloe now works with autistic children. She's been through her own fair share of abuse, I'm sure. She could have helped me. She could have helped me, but then Todd, even though it was his suggestion, every time she sat down to try to help me, he treated her like shit for it. Like somehow helping me was like cheating on him or some crap. Just fucking insanity. We got Chloe out of there though. Me and Kayla Trujillo and Chloe's sister, we all worked together and we got her out of there. And of course, most women in that situation, it doesn't take long to get lonely and to want a companion and to go back. He swears he'll never do it again. Chloe is badass, just so you know. But I want you to imagine how it is that I'm supposed to make the calls I need to make, or really do anything productive at all in the situation when Todd is busy screaming at Chloe, or he's busy screaming at me, or he's busy playing Black Dynamite as loud as his TV will go. And then he tells Chloe to speak up, and she starts talking, and then he tells her to shut up. And then he tells her to speak up. He yelled at her like 5 or 6 times in a row to fucking speak up, so she tries, and then he tells her to shut up. That's the help I got. When I got to my dad's, Diane, that's my dad's wife, and Dana, that's her daughter, they were supportive. They both apologized for my dad being the way that he is. But they both live under his roof. Yeah, great. Another subservient environment where I am expected to take abuse. We want to call it help. All of that evidence that got stolen in Washington State, my dad could have helped me to turn it in. He could have made some effort instead of just making excuses. Instead of interrupting me every sentence with his fucking assumptions, not looking at the actual evidence ever under any circumstances, focusing only on Forex.com, Forex.com. I need to make my dad some money. Forex.com, Forex.com. Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Forex.com, Forex.com. Yeah, sure, Dad. Fucking skeezy piece of shit. Who does that to their own kids? So, if my dad really wanted to test the waters with me, as he was trying to imply, why did he start off with a bribe? Instead of saying, hey, Sean, you know what? I fucked up. I'm willing to be a dad now. I'm willing to do what it is that I should have done to begin with. No, that's not what he did. He tried to bribe me and I spoke out. Then he wants to pretend like because I spoke out about him trying to bribe me, that, oh, he was gonna do good things for me. He had the greatest intentions for me. It's my fault for throwing away the broccoli. I was gonna. Y'all been there. And if you come from poor families, you remember them instances where mama said she didn't have no money. No money for nothing at all. No money for the electrical bill, and it was getting shut off the next day. And no money for anything else. No money, no money, no money. And she's gonna tell you because of the food pantry broccoli that's fucking already wilted when you get it, that because you're not gonna eat that nasty shit. You've already eaten enough of it. We've had broccoli for a week fucking straight. And you're gonna tell me that you had money for ice cream the whole time? Why didn't you go get fucking a pound of goddamn hamburger? That'd make fucking sense. But that's how life was. Home visits with my mom. She needed to have that stuff for her nose. You know, the white powdery stuff. How the hell is she ever gonna have Do you not get when you lie to your kids like that, they're not stupid? My mom and my dad both admitted to me at a very young age that they're sorry that they did what they did. But it's tough raising a kid who's smarter than you are. The fact that they didn't actually say they were sorry, that I just have to self-imply that's their way of apologizing. When your kid's smarter than you are, maybe you should listen to your fucking kid. Maybe you should listen to him. Maybe he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Maybe he's done the fucking research. If somebody's got OCD and ADHD, they already learn faster than everyone else. They're going to learn about a lot of different subjects at once and how they interrelate. That's a skill most of you primates just don't have. You don't bother to find out the way that things work. How it really is when you don't have that assistance right from the start. My dad could have shown an interest in the situation. He said that he would help me with it. And then, of course, when I was there and he was going to help me with it, it wasn't help. It was any excuse not to even try. He acts like Lanny Englein. They ought to get married. Him and Lana would have all sorts of fun together. Ask my dad if I got Tourette's syndrome. Ask him. You know, you'd think that would be the simplest fucking thing in the world to admit. Dad, do I have Tourette's syndrome? You think you'd admit that publicly? Huh? Or possibly help me to get the paperwork necessary? That would be, I don't know, terrific. But no, that's not what my dad wanted to do. Now this thing with Victoria, let me tell you, here's how a woman goes from being completely broke and not selling drugs to having to sell drugs. It's government help. The church that she had to go to. Well, in order to get help, she has to be able to show that she's going to these places. So she has to get a signature from these places when she goes to the food bank so that she can show that she's going to the food bank. That she is not abusing her child because she is going to the food bank. But then the food bank is run by a nasty church. Nasty church. And this nasty church requires her to go to 4 meetings. 4 meetings a month. Each one of these meetings costing her about $50. Plus the time in travel. Plus the time there. It's not cheap. So in order to get $50 worth of groceries, and yeah, that's no joke. That particular food bank in Longmont, $50. $50 worth of help. Because the government wanted to ensure that she was actually going and getting the help. No, she couldn't afford to go to those fucking services. She couldn't afford to go to... Why does she have to go to 4 meetings per month? Required by the church, not the government. It's required by the church. If you're going to go there and you're going to get their food pantry stuff and get their signature, you got to go to these 4 meetings. So she got to come up with, instead of getting the help that she needs, hey, I need food to feed me and my kid. You're making it impossible to get it, to, all right, well, now I'm in trouble because I'm trying to feed my kid and you guys are fucking being douches, to, all right, well, you need to go to this food bank here and sign a voucher. Get them to sign it that you were there, that you went there for the food services that we've been telling you were there for months and months and months that she couldn't get to. She couldn't get to them. If it costs her $50 to travel there to get $50 worth of food, where's she making out? Where's she getting ahead in that? If she had the $50 to do that, then she would go to the grocery store. She was trying not to have to sell fucking drugs to begin with. But then what does she end up having to do? Sell meth to make up an extra $250 a month. Because, like I said, there's that day that you got to go there for the food pantry too, and that's a different day. So you're literally spending $250 altogether for $50 worth of help. It's not help. It's literally not help. That is not fucking help. How is that help, stupid? All right, I want you to fucking drill that into your fucking head. How is that help? How is that help? How does that help Victoria at all? Now you're forcing her to sell methamphetamines in order to go to fucking 4 church meetings a fucking month and a fucking food pantry. Meanwhile, the closest place that she could go is quite a ways away. The closest place that she could find to park and not get fucked with by the cops I mean, when you're talking about having to drive 30 miles to go to a service, that's bad enough. When you got to drive over 30 miles both ways for a service, that sucks. Especially when your car is eating up oil, when your car is eating up fucking having all sorts of issues, and you got to take care of those problems, and you're trying to get help with those problems, but you can't get that help because you got to go to 4 meetings a month. You're never going to have the money to get up and out of this fucking hellhole while they're busy taking your money and forcing you to spend money that you don't fucking have for services that are supposed to help people that don't have money. But then again, these services aren't helping people with no money. They are robbing us of our money. They are robbing us of our time. And they are doing nothing at all to help us. I could teach Victoria how to skin a squirrel and how to skin a rabbit, and she'd keep her and her daughter fed pretty easy. I could teach her which plants in Colorado you can pick and eat, and which ones you have to boil in order to be able to eat them because they're just nasty tasting if you don't. I know a lot of the edible foliage there because we had a couple of folks up in the mountains, and we had a kitchen camp who had books, and we read those books, and we read those books, and we went out and tested it out, and we tried it. You know, that's all stuff that my dad don't know. That's all stuff most of y'all don't know. How to survive. Could I survive here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I might also end up inadvertently killing myself. I mean, some of these trees here are poison oak. And if you eat something and it's been messed with by poison oak, you know, it'll swell up your throat and it'll kill you. Put you into cardiac arrest. There was a lady here today. She's got a rash on her leg. She just barely brushed up against a sapling of poison oak. It looks bad. So up here and in Washington State, I would not be so sure about my abilities to find and forage the right food, but I could teach Victoria if I was in Colorado. Then again, she'd have to go somewhere where she could legally forage. Victoria ain't the only one like that. Kayla Trujillo, same thing. Kayla Manning, same thing. William Manning, same thing. Got to sell drugs to make ends meet in addition to their jobs. Then we got, of course, added situations with Victoria. She's an immigrant. Kind of like the additional issues with Kinga Nichols. You know, she was afraid of having her citizenship revoked and being sent back to Hungary if she told the truth about the situation. I told the truth. And in all of these situations, I was treated by the police and by the public like I was schizophrenic. At least they're driving decently now. Yeah, they were tearing up the whole town the other night. Driving like idiots. But who the hell's going to do anything about it? And they were making sure to do it specifically where I was at. Making sure to over-rev their engines. Trying to do some real funky friggin' U-turns in front of me. And they did it like 3 or 4 times here in town right in front of me and Logan and Shayna. Thing with my dad is that he's got to admit that he fucked up. That instead of listening to me and looking at evidence like he said he would, that he treated me like I was a fucking retarded 5-year-old. You want respect? No, you earned my disrespect by being so disrespectful. Just like the police earned my disrespect by being so disrespectful. All of these people earned my disrespect. If you're gonna tell me something to try to manipulate me, or maybe it is true, but if you're gonna tell me and you're gonna make no effort to make a police report or help turn it in, and safety in numbers is important. If we go in as a group, well, we can all turn in our reports, and we all know that those reports got turned in, and we can each verify the other people doing the same. Instead, I've got recordings of people who claim that they did, and they were blown off, same as me. There's also the ones where these people wanted to tell me that they were threatened, harassed, and intimidated by police. But none of that matters. My dad didn't want to see any of that. He didn't want to see any of the evidence. He just wanted the power and the control. How very religious of you. If you're going to try to bribe me and then pretend like that's a stepping stone into a healthy father-son relationship, are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? What the fuck are you smoking? I think that's beyond smoking. I think that's some straight up nasty ass fucking injecting yourself with filth kind of thinking. And for my dad, oh, I was gonna drive all the way down there and help you with some stuff. Really? Where am I, Dad? Where am I? Where did you supposedly send that Western money to? Or Western Union money to, huh? Where did you supposedly send that to? Did you send that to Oregon here? Where did you send it? Where's the receipt? Huh? Is this like the time that you said you paid the vehicle insurance? And you didn't? And it made it fucking damn near impossible to get insurance again? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to lose my insurance. I was able to pay off my entire last set. The whole 6 months I paid it off. And because I paid it off, well, I was able to get insurance this time where, of course, I didn't have to go through all that BS. But you know what? In just a few days, that bill's not going to get paid. Because I'm not getting my disability money anymore. Because I didn't have any actual help through all of this with those things. A lot of these folks that wanted to keep on pushing dead fucking horses. Hey, let's beat this dead fucking horse. No, how about you look at how many times I beat that horse myself before you tell me to go beat it again? Jesus fucking Christ. How about instead of arguing with me over whether or not I've done it, how about you shut the fuck up and find out? Find out the truth of it. Are these things true or not? Did you ever bother to find out? All these folks wanting to call me a liar for things that they said. Sean, you're lying. No, I'm not. Here's your own voice saying it. And what do they do then? Block. Yeah, here's your own words. Here is you saying it. You want to claim that I'm slandering you, that you never said that, and here is you in your magnanimous glory, in your own words. You can hear your own voice saying it. Oh, they don't like that. Meanwhile, each of these folks know that they can pester me and pester me and pester me until I'm completely fucking flustered, and then I can't communicate effectively. And then, of course, they automatically win. It's like playing chess with a pigeon. All it's going to do is knock over all the pieces, shit all over the board, and strut around like it won. See, it didn't come down to evidence. What it came down to was popularity. Whose slander was worth listening to? Right? Now, what did I say about Natalie Bollinger? I said that her daddy molested her. Matter of fact, I said a lot of things, didn't I? No. Those actually came from Natalie. Those of you who paid attention already know that. Why didn't you share that information? Why didn't you speak out? Why didn't you make it as public as you could? Why didn't you even try? Just like my dad, why didn't you even try? Kara Johnson Miles got to put slander in multiple court dates. This is one of my predators. This is a woman who pretended to be an autism advocate and a friend of one of Natalie Bollinger's ex-stepmoms who was going to help me. You know how she helped me? By slandering me and berating me in Facebook groups about Natalie Bollinger. They weren't about Natalie Bollinger. They're Sean Schwartz hate groups. My dad doesn't get this, though. I don't get a whole lot of views. The videos with him, only a couple hundred at most. I think one of them has like, the one that has the most has like 153. Okay? Out of all of the literally millions of people who watch these Natalie Bollinger true crime web sleuth things, literally millions of views on these things. If I counted them all up, because like the one that was only made, 3 weeks ago, it's got over 600,000 views already, almost 700,000, and that was as of 4 days ago? Hundreds of thousands of views, Dad. Hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands on just one video. One of Rob Gavigan's has over 2 million views now. Same thing with one of them by Mike Boudet. This is all stuff I could have showed you. Well, the stuff with Mike Boudet anyway. You could have helped to stop the exploitation of disabled individuals, but instead you helped to propagate it. You helped to perpetuate it. What the hell kind of a father are you? You're not. You want to tell me to man up? Are you kidding me? You're not a man. It's kind of strange for a mouse to tell a man what a man should be. When it comes to what I personally believe that a man should be, I'm the only man I know. The only one. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That's not fucking rocket science. You may not know the right thing to do, but the victim, rest assured, already knows what mistakes they've made. While you're busy berating them and trashing on them and telling them what they should have done, did you bother to find out if they tried those things? When things don't work out the way that you want them to, do you find out why they didn't? Did my dad find out why I didn't get disability when I was in Colorado staying at my Aunt Mary's house? Did he fucking care? No, he didn't. He wants to bring up how much money it costs to have me put in the system in Washington State because he was abusive. How much money it cost him. So he could bring up shit from the past. I don't get to bring up the fact that grown men shove their dicks up my asshole because he decided that making a profit selling cocaine was more important than his own family. My dad chose that. And then when me and my dad were with him, he chose to be abusive. Not my fault either. My dad once told me it's my fault because I was a tough kid to handle. No, I wasn't. If you listened, I was the easiest fucking kid in the world to handle. When people assaulted me, you should have paid a fucking attention. When I got beaten up at school, my dad didn't care. He didn't care that we were in like the one nice, pretty white street in the entire fucking area. I went to a minority high school. What, did he think it was going to be a fucking cakewalk? He went to high school in fucking Nebraska. Then there's my dad's racism. Ain't my fault. I didn't make him racist. Just like I didn't make my mom racist. My mom says the reason that she doesn't like Mexicans is because she was raped by one. One Mexican did that. How many Americans have committed rape? Does she hate all Americans? Just don't make no damn sense. But these people have feeble minds. They're weak-minded, narcissistic. They can't admit when they're wrong. That would mean they're not perfect. Well, I think the fact that my dad tried to bribe me shows that he's not perfect. And of course, there's stuff in those videos he's trying to hide. I wonder what that would be. He could have helped to get that shit into court. He could have looked at the evidence. He could have kept his word. Instead, he chose to be abusive. He chose to illegally lock me up. That's right, my dad did that. No police involved whatsoever, just my dad preventing me from leaving his house, preventing me from leaving one room in the house, standing in the doorway. Now, how many times have I told you guys that scares the hell out of me? Well, there's a reason for it. When my dad's standing in the doorway, that usually means there's a whooping coming. But it's not just my dad. It's also growing up in the system. When there's people standing in your doorway, that means there's a whooping coming. My dad refused to move for over an hour. Now, I like to give him the benefit of the doubt and the leeway. 45 minutes. We'll say it was 45 minutes. 45 minutes of no matter what I said, he wasn't going to hear any of it. He was going to interrupt me 2 words in every sentence. Talk down to me like I was a fucking idiot. Talk down to me like I was mentally fucking retarded. Talk down to me as if he knew all of this stuff, as if he had been there and seen it all for himself. He didn't bother to look at anything. Just argued. Just treat me like I am a nobody, like I am a nothing, like I am not a human being. Because why? Why should he give a shit? I'm not his kid, at least not in his mind. I'm not perfect. He looks for any excuse. Like when I went up to see him in, what was it, like 2007 or 2008, I think. I went up there and I saw my dad, and my dad, he was trying to get rid of me then. He didn't have the perfect sons that he wanted, so he wanted a DNA test to make sure that he wanted to make sure that I was somebody else's. He didn't want me to be his kid. Kind of like my mom at my grandma's funeral complaining that she just wanted normal kids. Are you fucking kidding me? We grew up in the system getting raped and beaten. You're out of your fucking mind. Out of your fucking mind. What, you think you're gonna have normal kids after that? No. You chose cocaine over your own fucking family, lady. With all these people, it's alright for them to bring up shit in the past that isn't even my fucking fault. It's okay for them to bring that shit up as excuses for treating me like shit. Things that happened because of their decisions. Theirs. The decision to look away is still a decision. The decision to give someone empty promises and false hope is still a decision. Now, whether you meant it to be evil or whether you just were trying to hide your own fuck-ups, it doesn't matter. You've got a different set of rules for you than everyone else. My dad, there's probably at least 15 million views between these, just the Natalie Bollinger things on YouTube. Probably 15 million views worldwide. My dad's pissed off because there's 153 views on one of the videos on my channel. Yeah, 15 million people cared enough to watch these videos of pure slander. And this is what I needed help stopping. But who cares, right? Who cares? Nobody's gonna try showing the truth but me. Y'all think I can just let it go. You think it's just that easy when everything in your life is taken from you and nobody is going to fucking help you. And you're not allowed to do it for yourself. And then people who are allowed to do it for themselves want to pretend like everyone gets that. You're fucking insane. If my dad drove down here, decided he was going to apologize publicly and that he was done being a bitch, yeah, we could work on a relationship. We could work on him not being a piece of shit to his own family. Him not looking away. Him not being a selfish son of a bitch. Him not hiding behind religion. Well, I'm not allowed to bring up the past. All these people are. I'm not even allowed to threaten my own predators back. The courts have shown this, the police have shown this, my own father has shown this. Nobody's going to look. And if nobody looks, then that makes me wrong, huh? If you're not willing to look. I want you to look up the name Natalie Bollinger, and I want you to look at all of the videos. I want you to check different times and dates. If you type the one that says just in the past week, it'll show you a few. I haven't seen this week if there's any new ones. Haven't even checked. Today I had plans for things that I needed to do during the day. Didn't realize it was Sunday, however. I thought it was Monday. The body needs to rest when it needs to rest. So I ended up literally passing out at a park all day. Woke up at around 5 o'clock. If my dad hadn't been so busy arguing, he could have helped me to get the body cam evidence from Boulder before it was destroyed. That was gross. I squished a bug and it came out in pieces. I went back for the baby bird earlier today and I couldn't find it. I know that seems completely random, but it's really not. It was in a video earlier and it was something I just thought of. Figured I ought to share with you. Maybe some sweet old lady picked it up and took it home and knows how to take care of it. My dad can't help me unless he's willing to admit that he fucked up. You really think he's gonna do that? You really think he's gonna admit to bullying me, threatening me, harassing me, falsely imprisoning me? You think he's really gonna admit to that shit? Meanwhile, what would have happened if I'd have tried to turn him in? I'd have gotten locked up and injected with drugs and called mentally ill. My dad knows how to play the system, same as anybody else. My dad got 5 years on a mandatory 20-year sentence. My dad said it was a 12-year sentence. My mom said it was a 20-year sentence. Either way, he got out a lot earlier than he should have on a mandatory sentence. How's my dad gonna help when he's fucking playing head games? That broccoli and ice cream trick. Oh, I was gonna, but you threw away your broccoli. Well, we're not gonna get ice cream now, no matter what, because you already threw away your broccoli. Yes. I totally believe you. No, the fuck I don't. My dad wants to send me messages, and good or bad, not to mention him. No, 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 no. Grow a pair, Dad. Grow a pair. You want to tell me to man up? You mean manning up like you are? Yeah, I'll pass. Trying to bribe me is a horrible, horrible way to start a father-son relationship. And then claiming you were gonna, pulling the I was gonna get you ice cream trick. Holy fuck, what the hell made you think that was gonna work? I'm smarter than you, Dad. You need to face the facts. I am smarter than you. You already admitted it. Shit, you admitted it when I was like, what, 9? Yeah, of course I'm smarter than you. That's why you should listen to me. I was smart enough that every time that I was forced to break the law, I saved the evidence of why. That includes you being a fucking coward. You being a liar. Yeah, you're going to heaven for sure, Dad. Yeah, you're gonna go to heaven. I believe that. No, I don't. The only way that you are going to be able to help me, the only way that you are going to be able to show that you're not that same useless piece of shit is to do what the Bible says to do. And that is to profess by mouth The problem is you got to be professing by mouth a lot more publicly than just to God in order to make amends. And you're not going to do that, Dad. You're still too cowardly to do that. Someone calling themselves Brooke McConnell type. Is this live right now? Yes, it is. Brooke McConnell type dude. Everyone's parents did that broccoli thing. You weren't being tricked. It was to teach you that if you make this choice, you get this. If you make a different choice, you get that. No, 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 no. It's not. It's absolutely not a teaching tool. It teaches you kids that you're a fucking liar. It's not a teaching tool. It's a fucking trick. I'm not playing fucking games. People are dead. I'm not fucking playing games. It is absolutely a fucking trick. To lie to your kids and say that you were gonna. And then to try to pull that on an adult? Holy hell, that's fucking stupid. Especially when it comes to something important. Oh, you were gonna come down here and help me. Yeah, like the last time you were gonna help me, Dad? When it was all about watching the Orville and 4x.com. You know, for me to get straight A's in a minority high school, to be part of the most intelligent group of students in the school, they called it Team Gold. Mr. Warren, Miss Martin, and Mr. Coe. And all the smartest kids in our school were in those 3 core classes. I got an A+ in advanced horticulture freshman year. That's advanced horticulture. That's horticulture 3 and 4. That's actually considered a college credit in Washington State. That's college courses. So, with that in mind, I didn't use most of the knowledge that I got, so I lost most of it. But I got that average, with the exception of the F that I got in PE. I got that all having to go through hours of trying to learn HTML for my dad so that I could make porno sites for him at 15 years of age. And then I had to go to work, of course, helping a guy who had bees in town. And that was a good job. I liked that man. And he paid me in honey, too. And I had to do that before I could do my schoolwork, before I could do my homework. My dad's exploited my disabilities, or attempted to, on multiple occasions. He exploited my disabilities to get disability money when I was with him. When I was no longer with him, he no longer cared because I was no longer making him money. Between the age of 15 years of age and today, my father has gotten a hold of me unprompted a grand total of 1 time, and that was today, to try to fucking bribe me into taking shit off the internet. Brooke McConnell types, what disabilities? Well, I have Asperger's. I also have Tourette's syndrome. I also have PTSD from abuse. Now, the PTSD is the real kicker there. There's a lot of stuff between autism and PTSD that are similar. PTSD comes primarily from long-term abuse. It's not just from one traumatic event usually. It's from a series of them. And I've seen a lot. I've seen enough of my friends' corpses to not want to see another one. I've been through a lot of abuse for trying to show the truth. And believe me, don't believe me. Don't believe me. I want you to go to a computer if you got a phone that you're doing this on. Go to that computer. Go to my videos, click filters, and go to the option where it says oldest to newest. Any of those that have names in them, those are people who speak about the abuse against them and against me and against others at the hands of the Bollingers and the police. It shows quite a lot. There's a lot of witnesses to the abuse too. People like George Helmstetter, who got to see just one of many assaults in Boulder County Jail. They put me in the chair and I slipped out. I almost did the same thing in the Larimer County Jail. That's the thing about when you try to turn in the cops, they make you turn them into their friends and their coworkers. These people don't want to rock the boat. You're homeless, you don't fucking matter. Obviously, my dad don't care. My mom don't care. My sister, shit, she'll rip me off same as my mom will, obviously. Sure, these people take advantage of me and my disabilities. The PTS thing from long-term abuse, you just pretend that that's paranoia and schizophrenia. You pretend that my Tourette syndrome is drug use, and voila, it's magically okay to do whatever the fuck you want to me. Matter of fact, that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. All right, that's just the way it is. When somebody is being abused and they come to you for help, they know what help they need. So instead of talking over them and giving them advice like they're retarded, maybe you should listen to them. Maybe you should try instead of make excuse after excuse not to. Why it won't work. Why literally going out of your way to ignore the legal process and then tell me that I'm the one who made a mistake. I'm the one who fucked up. No, I went out of my way to make sure that I tried to do everything legally. But you don't want to go back through my videos, do you? You don't want to listen to Sarah Bacon telling me about how her and her family were threatened. You don't want to go back and look and listen. No, what you want to do is pretend like that didn't happen. And if you don't look, you get to continue to pretend it didn't happen. I shouldn't have to sit down and force someone to take a look at the evidence. That should not be necessary. My dad made his bed, he can fucking sleep in it. If he wants to make amends, he's got to profess by mouth. He's got to do it publicly, and then he's got to show up and actually try. Now that he was gonna show up, he was gonna drive down here and gonna help me this time. Really? Like he helped me last time? Yeah, sure. I believe that. I totally believe that he's actually going to listen and look at evidence this time. I totally believe he's actually going to help this time. I totally believe that, really, if you're going to do that ice cream thing, show me the ice cream. No, you told me that after the fact because you're a fucking dick. You were gonna. Oh, the fuck you weren't. At that point, you're just antagonizing people. At that point, you're just going out of your way to be a dick. And then there's the you should have this, you should have that, you should have this, you should have that. Now who's living in the fucking past, dumbass? I'm trying to find an effective solution. But I gotta find it solo. Or I gotta depend on alcoholics and meth addicts, because who the fuck is Brian David Schwartz? He's not somebody that knows me. He's not somebody who knows who I am as a human being. He's not anybody who ever fucking cared. What he cared about was making a profit. He watched Rain Man, so he thinks that I should be this special math and fucking computer prodigy. You know, I could have been. I liked computers. What I didn't like is being forced onto the computer for hours a fucking day to make fucking porno sites. Who's going to enjoy that? Now then there's the fact that I do have mental disabilities. And of course, instead of stating what my disabilities are, my predators just say mentally ill to insinuate that I am schizophrenic and delusional. And that's how the cops and the courts treat me. That's how they treat every homeless male. You guys think you're winning an argument by talking over me. Meanwhile, it's not an argument. I lived it, you didn't. You need to listen, not me. You need to listen to the victim instead of advising them not to do anything. If you do nothing about the abuse, it continues, and not just for you, but for others. Waylon Lolotai assaulted no less than 6 people other than myself in 2018. They were all caught on camera. And all of those happened after he assaulted me. And he assaulted me after he had already left another department because he decided it was okay to assault people. When a police officer assaults you, he gets to move on to another department. When police officers repeatedly obstruct justice to prevent you from turning them in, there's a major problem there. If my dad can't make these calls with me and do so publicly, what use is he? Unlike my dad, I get out here and I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Unlike my dad, I profess by mouth. I do so publicly. I don't hide from my sins and I don't hide from my mistakes. I don't blame others for my fuck-ups. I blame them for theirs. People keep on wanting to tell me the consequences of me defending myself against Natalie Bollinger and her fucking junkie buddies. Oh, you pushed her to suicide. You made her commit suicide. No, the fuck I didn't. Her and her friends pushed me to that point. Then look at her and her sister with the manipulation. The fucking constant love bombing. Before Virginia and while I was in Virginia. Love bombing. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, Dad, you could have looked at the conversations between Natalie Bollinger and I. The whole time I was up there, I just needed you to fucking take a look and speak out. Speak out for your fucking son, you piece of shit. Instead of victimizing me. Instead of treating me like shit, instead of illegally fucking imprisoning me, you fucking piece of fucking trash. You know that's a felony, right? You know what happens to people who commit felonies like that, right? Come on, Brian Schwartz. You're smarter than that. You've been to prison. So you already know the answer. What happens when you do shit like that? Why did you do it to me instead of Diane? Why don't you lock Diane in the room like that and refuse to allow her to leave? Because people will listen to her if you abuse her in such a way. But if you abuse me in that way, you just got to play on the mentally ill thing like everyone else. That's a fucking trashy thing to do. What are the chances of my dad actually watching this video? They're not very fucking good. Anyway, I'm over by the spot. Like I said, that bird completely disappeared. It's nowhere to be found, nowhere in sight. I checked the little flower garden. Let me show you. Right there's the piece of the cup that I used for shading him. And it doesn't look like there's a pile where the ants have gone to a body. So obviously, that is something that if the bird had died, we'd already see signs of that. But no bird. No bird in the gutter either. No bird out in the road. No bird anywhere. So hopefully, like I said earlier, I hope some sweet old lady picked it up and took it home and is going to try to nurse it back to health. I have to be afraid everywhere I go. I got to be on point at all points in time. Obviously, not all of us out here are Dan, putting our foot through windows. Not all of us out here are Andrew, who's taken so many drugs he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Not all of us are Logan and Shayna, who at the first sign of trouble are going to run away. I put up a tough resistance. I put up a stand. I don't retreat. I make strategic withdrawals. When the abuse in an area becomes too great, well, I have to leave that area for the preservation of evidence. But guess what? My evidence is going to get lost because I don't have anywhere to put it. I don't have anywhere to take it. I don't have a place to work on it. 5 months of being here trying to get help, and, well, men don't get help. They get pretty words. Let me tell you how many people I reached out to for advice in this situation. I didn't have to. Everybody was too busy giving advice. They were too busy giving it already. Now, some of them I did need their advice because they knew things. And of course, those people told me that they couldn't give me advice. How interesting is that? And with having nobody there in any of my court dates, no court observers to make sure that my rights were not violated, it didn't matter. No matter what, they were just going to play that mentally ill thing. Pretend like I never tried to get help. Pretend that I never went to anyone for help. Well, they can keep on playing that, but the evidence is on YouTube. The evidence is on Facebook, and there is so much more. Right up there is where that asshole lives. And right over there is the cop shop right across the street. Yep. So of course they victimize me, and I'm the bad guy for what? I don't see how it's my fault that a man put his foot through the window and I'm the one that called 911 on him. And then I get accused by the homeowner of having something to do with it. You goddamn right I do. I called 911. There was a man bleeding profusely all over town. Yeah, I'm gonna call 911 over that. I don't want people dead. But of course, they showed up and buttered up my biscuits a bit. That was nice. He said I saved his leg, which is nice. And of course, we got some minor vandalism over here, apparently. That is not where that thing belongs. I don't got a lot of physical strength, so I'm not sure if I'll even be able to lift that up. Let's test it out. Oh God, no, there's no way in hell. Well, so sorry we're closed. I guess somebody didn't like that they were closed or something. Looks like there's a piece broken out of it and it's sitting right there. Hey, you think I could enlist your help to lift this back up into place? Yeah. Nice, thank you, sir. Oh my God, you got it all by yourself? Badass, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Hell yeah. That right there is an immediate solution. Anyway, this is a long video. I don't expect my dad to ever watch it. I don't expect he'll care. There's no profit in it. The messed up thing is that there actually could be a lot of profit. Each and every one of these places that did me wrong, there's evidence of it in their own paperwork, in their own recordings. Of course, you got to have somebody who actually cares about you, who stands up and asks the right questions. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? This is the United States of America. What you guys are doing is un-American. My dad wants me to take down conversations with him, as well as take down the things that I said about those situations. Well, those are staying up. And if he actually cared about me, he'd be fine with them staying up. He would be fine with the truth being shown. I was gonna. That whole ice cream trick. That's right, you were gonna bribe me. Yeah, that bribe was supposed to bring us together as father and son, huh? A bribe? Really? And then you're gonna try, I was gonna give you ice creaming me afterwards. Oh, I was gonna go down there and I was gonna drive down and I was gonna help you with some things. Yeah, Dad. I don't even almost believe you, not even for one fucking moment. do yourself a favor and don't try to bribe people. Now let me show you something, because we got to go this way anyway. Actually, I'm going to get a soda pop. I don't really have the money to keep doing this, but the thing about the soda pops is that I don't puke them up. Well, all right, that's not true. If I drink too much Mountain Dew, it does the same thing as too much water. It just comes right back up. I drink a lot of water today, but after that, we can go take a look at some of the bloody footprints that are still going down the street. From the other day when Dan put his foot through that man's window, the blood is still out here, and it's not pretty. It's been sun-baked on there for a while. All right. We'll go take a look at the bloody footprints, because they're still there. If you want to pretend I'm schizophrenic for saying that they're there, even knowing that they're this video of those while they were still red instead of brown and sun-baked. You might recognize where I'm at, but in case you don't, here's the soda machine. Right there is where Dan was sitting when they were dressing up his foot. They left a lot of blood here. The manager here had to actually come out and do a lot more hosing down because it was still red with blood and it was sticky. It was gross. Now they washed it off in some places. But you can see there's a footprint right there, bloody footprint, bloody footprint, bloody footprint, bloody footprint. We could do this for a while. Doesn't that kind of look like a Japanese koi fish painted from the top? Yep. This one's even got fins. That one too. Just using your imagination. Pretend like it's some beautiful artwork. In reality, this is a man who's got some severe mental issues. Mental issues that you guys pretend that I have. As we get closer to this light, you'll be able to see these a little better, a little easier. Like that one right there. We're passing footprint after footprint. Bloody footprints. They won't do anything to help Dan, because if they don't help Dan and he continues to do stuff like this, they can blame the wrong person. With Logan and Shayna, the reason that they dipped out is because they were afraid that they would get blamed. So, of course, although they were there for the situation with the window breaking as well, they dipped out immediately. Just like last night when the cops were, was it last night or the night before? When the cops were pulling their bullshit with me. Just kept on driving like nut jobs. Well, as soon as I pulled out my camera to record it, Logan and Shayna wanted some time to pick up all their stuff and get the hell out of there before I started recording. So I let them have it. Brooke McConnell type, the problem with mental issues is that those who are suffering with one are usually the last to know that. See, now you're just being a condescending cunt. Don't do that. Here's the thing about mental disabilities. If somebody has PTSD, they know they've got PTSD. They know that they're experiencing reactions due to trauma. The fact that the mental health lady that I went to says loud and clear that I'm not schizophrenic and not delusional, but you're on here being a douchebag anyway, goes to show that you got some mental problems that you don't realize that you have. Did you like how I took your dismissive comment and turned it back directly at you? People don't like that. It makes them angry. I get it. Most people with mental disabilities are well aware that they have mental disabilities. Brooke McConnell type, nope, I have mental disability. I'm talking from experience. Well, how could you be talking from experience if you know you have a mental disability? If you know you have a mental disability, how did you find out in a way that everybody else knew before you? Now, if you're going to tell me you're schizophrenic and you talk to yourself, well, that makes sense. It makes sense that if you're schizophrenic and delusional, and people have to explain to you that you're not really a fucking fighter pilot in outer space, and people have to frequently tell you that you're not a firefighter or a jet pilot or a friggin' U.S. Marine Commando. If people have to constantly remind you that that shit is not real, yeah, I can understand how you would be the last to know that you have a mental disability. You don't know up from down, left from right, or shit from Shinola. That would make sense. If you're so far fucking gone that you don't know what the hell is going on, then sure, you're the last to know. Brooke McConnell typed, I never said schizophrenia. I would suggest BPD. And see, there's the thing between looking at the evidence and being a douchebag. You're on here being a douchebag trying to make diagnosis. Are you fucking retarded? Are you a fucking complete and total goddamn idiot? Are you out of your fucking mind? See, instead of looking at evidence, you're on here trying to, well, make diagnosis despite the fact that you are not a medical professional, obviously, and for certainly not in this field. So what are you expecting out of me? What are you expecting in this conversation? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But you're just going to continue to make excuses for the predators? You're going to bring up shit that is neither here nor there? That's the problem with being disabled and being victimized. is that people want to pretend that they know better than you and try to convince you that you are not victimized, that you could not possibly be victimized, that nobody would do that. Well, there's cops again. Of course, they're driving nice, thank goodness. Let's see. Brooke McConnell type. I know I have one because I was told by my close loved ones. Holy shit. All right, you know what? What mental disability, huh? What mental disability do you have? Just because people are telling you that you have a mental disability, let me tell you something about kids who grew up in the 1980s and 90s. While we were in school, if we showed any signs of being kids, the schools would insist that we couldn't come back until we were put on Ritalin. Well, guess what? The Supreme Court ruled that that's against the law. Well before these things were ever done. Just because somebody has a mental illness does not make them wrong. It doesn't mean that they weren't abused. Why is it that people with mental disabilities are the most victimized in the country? Not people with physical disabilities, people with mental disabilities. Well, it's because nobody fucking cares. They know that they can dismiss everything that you say. They know that no matter what, nobody's going to listen to you because of the tag of mentally ill. When a man rapes his daughter over and over again until she cuts on herself and then says, "Oh, you're mentally ill. Oh, officer, don't mind her, she's mentally ill." What are you implying? She's got PTSD from being raped, not schizophrenia. But you want to imply that she has schizophrenia and delusions, and that she's just paranoid because of her schizophrenia and her delusions, and that she's imagining that her dad fucking raped her. It's not any different for boys. Actually, it is. Boys get it worse. People might listen to a girl who's been abused. They're not going to listen to a boy. Look at all these people who took part in threatening, harassing, and intimidating me before Natalie was ever killed. Over things that never happened. Alright, let's see. Brooke McConnell wants to type a bunch of dismissive shit. You're not the only victim in this world. Well, guess what? I'm fucking well aware of that. I'm out here every day seeing other victims, helping other victims. I am well fucking aware that I am not the only victim. Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley is also a victim. And Desiree Leonard as well. I speak out for the other victims, even if they do fucked up shit to me. They were still victimized, and it's still the right thing to do. Finally back at my car. I shouldn't have to go to people who are strung out on fucking drugs for help. People like Andrew. The Andrew here, of course. Same thing with Andrew Witcher, though. Same thing with Amy Witcher. All three by their own admission. Then there's Brett Roloff, and it's not exactly a situation that he can hide, where he was digging through his own feces to try to find a bag of meth that he swallowed. It's kind of tough to hide that when it's on somebody's YouTube channel. see. All right, anyway, Brooke McConnell types. I know I have one because I was told by my close loved ones and from listening, and schizophrenia isn't always seeing things. I'm well aware that schizophrenia isn't always seeing things. I grew up with a lot of different kids. Some of them were autistic, some of them were schizophrenic. It's pretty easy for me to tell the difference. Some of them were schizophrenic and some of them were traumatized. It's pretty easy for me to tell the difference. It's because I lived it. Let's see. Brooke McConnell claims to be university qualified. He says, I'm university qualified, trying to help and commenting on questions you are asking on here. I'm not asking you any questions as far as that goes. The stuff that you were typing about wasn't stuff that I was asking you questions about, and the stuff that I am asking you questions about and giving my commentary on is now centered on you. And it is all related to you now. But it didn't start off that way, and this conversation did it. Brooke McConnell types, and you're not the only victim in this world. That's dismissive. It says, I have clinical depression, ADHD, anxiety, and BPD. Just so you know, if you're talking about bipolar disorder, well, being bipolar is not the same as being schizophrenic either. See, if you listen to the conversation between me and Marcia Estrada, Marcia Estrada, that's Marcia Estrada. There's one where it's a letter that she wrote as the cover for it, and that one right there between myself and Marcia Estrada, that conversation shows a lot of stuff that you guys, if I just say it, you're going to go out of your way to contradict it no matter what. Well, this is a licensed independent mental health care professional. She is licensed to diagnose schizophrenia. She says, I'm not schizophrenic or delusional. Imagine that. And then when you say BPD, there's two different ones. BPD is borderline personality disorder. It could also be bipolar disorder, and both of them are very similar. But the fact is that PTSD and severe PTSD can both manifest themselves as either one. It's because they're so similar. If somebody tells you that they were a Marine Corps scout sniper and you have them locked up for it, and then they have no access to the evidence that shows that they were a Marine Corps scout sniper, because they're locked up, and they gotta sit there and tell a therapist that they were a Marine Corps scout sniper. And of course, the therapist doesn't want to believe them because the therapist was told that this person was schizophrenic or bipolar and is just making stuff up. So your therapist doesn't actually fucking listen to you. They've already listened to your predators. Shit like this happens all the time. And the sixth sad fact of that is that police officers are not qualified or accredited to diagnose anyone as anything. Not schizophrenic, not bipolar, nothing. Now, somebody who is bipolar, if they have PTSD, it may manifest itself and look like bipolar disorder. It can also manifest itself and turn into God, what was the other BPD? Give me a second. There's a lot of stuff running through my head and a lot of terminology, and I gotta go fishing once in a while. Borderline personality disorder, that's it. Oftentimes, long-term abuse can result in borderline personality disorder. That's what Mandy Singer has. And some people don't know the difference between borderline personality disorder and multiple personality disorder. Multiple personality disorder means that you were abused to the point where there's actually two of you inside of you. There's actually two very specific entities that your brain has separated itself into. Now, for Mandy, she has her altered ego, Julia. That's what she calls it. It's not a multiple personality disorder thing, though. It's not like Julia is a completely different person. It's the person that she chooses to manifest when she does not feel strong enough. When she wants to lash out irrationally, and she can't because she's a rational human being. This is the person they give all of their pain and their anguish to. This other personality. But it's not another personality as far as being another creature entirely. It's not like they've created for themselves another human being to live the life of, like somebody with multiple personality disorders. No, borderline personality disorder, it teeters right there on the edge of sanity, as many of y'all like to say. Because a lot of people with borderline personality disorder, they tend to snap at the wrong people over the wrong shit. Whoever happens to be there when Kim comes out, that's for Brenda Dickinson. Her alter ego is Kim. I know a lot about a lot of people because of the things that they share with me. All right, let's try to wrap this up. Let's see. We'll make sure that we do address Brooke McConnell. Brooke McConnell typed, I'm a child of the 89s also, or 80s. I know the difference. I have mental disability, and you are now dismissing what I'm saying. You're absolutely right. I'm dismissing what you're saying. I'm giving you fair and equal treatment. But now we can come back down to equal footing, which I also don't mind. Brooke McConnell typed, no borderline personality disorder. And again, I've not said schizophrenia in regards to you. That doesn't matter if you say it or not, because I'm not referring to just you, Brooke McConnell. And I don't mean to say that's, well, I do mean to say that's snooty, actually. The term mentally ill, you don't have to say schizophrenic. That's how my predators were allowed and capable of getting away with preventing me from showing any evidence, facing my accusers, or even being allowed to go to my own court dates. By insinuating that I was schizophrenic, by calling me mentally ill, instead of stating what my actual disability is. Officers lying to the hospitals and telling the hospitals that I was schizophrenic. Well, that's pretty much, I don't know, a whole bunch of felonies wrapped into one. Rick McConnell typed, any therapist casting judgment based on suggested diagnosis shouldn't be working. I agree with you 100%, Brooke McConnell. She typed, yes, PTSD and trauma can appear similar to other mental illnesses. They are all still treated the same. And that is exactly the problem, Brooke. I am glad that right there you were able to hit the nail right on the fucking head. When you're cutting on yourself because your daddy won't keep his nasty cockbeaters to himself and your mom won't listen, you're not cutting on yourself because you're mentally ill. You're cutting on yourself because you need to be heard. You're enduring abuse. Boys don't do that as often. Boys tend to threaten suicide and then commit suicide. And of course, everybody who wants their life to end because they're being victimized, and the cops won't do anything about the victimization except blow them off and treat them like they must be wrong because they're retarded. That's the thing, Brooke, is that the general public who decided that it was okay to take their shit out on me, and the police who decided that it was okay for them to take their shit out on me, they knew they'd get away with it by calling me mentally ill. We need to stop using the term mental illness and the term mentally ill. It is an insult. Here's another one that I believe Brooke may actually be correct about. Brooke typed, multiple personality disorder is now referred to as DID, dissociative identify disorder. I thought it was dissociative identity disorder, but I could be wrong, or it might just be a typo. If it's a typo, well, I'm not trying to be a dick, Brooke, because my phone autocorrects, and also I have fat fingers. So don't even worry about it. I'm not trying to be a grammar Nazi. If you decide you're going to be a grammar Nazi to me, however, keep in mind I believe in equality. And thank you for adding that, because I do think that it is important to make the distinction and discuss the distinction. It's important for people to know that if you treat somebody with schizophrenia, or you treat somebody with autism who is in a state of crisis, such as myself, if you treat me like I'm schizophrenic, you're doing wrong. And just because all of them are treated as if you were a violent schizophrenic, that shows why the term mental illness should go away. The DSM-5 is known as the American Book of Mental Illnesses. But mental illness is not a single diagnosis in there. Not one of them is called mental illness. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, not mental illness. Schizophrenia is schizophrenia, not mental illness. Bipolar disorder, well, that's something that obviously you would be diagnosed with bipolar disorder, not mental illness. If you've got multiple personality disorder, you are diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, not mental illness. Mental illness, that term is only used to discredit victims. That is the only way that it is used. And the reason that I say that it is only used to discredit victims is because every time you say that or do that, you are discrediting another human being, which means that you are choosing to victimize that human being by calling them mentally ill. You are choosing to discredit them with a fucking insult, because it certainly is not a diagnosis and never has been. Alright, so we got screenshots of the entire conversation with Brooke. So, of course, the stuff that I'm reading from Brooke, there's evidence that it was stated just in case Brooke decides to throw a tantrum later on and try to destroy it. Not that Brooke would. I'm not insinuating that Brooke is going to. But due to the fact that so many people have, makes it important. It's important to back your shit up. Oh, I disconnected for a second. I do apologize. Although it's not my fault that I disconnected, I apologized anyway. That's one of the signs of long-term trauma and abuse as well, is apologizing for every goddamn thing. Well, I've been focusing and working hard on not doing that. Brooke McConnell typed, okay, good chat, take care. Thank you for joining, Brooke. I believe that your input into this particular subject and topic is valid. And the stuff that you were wrong about, well, I can understand given the information that you have have access to, why you would believe what you believe. I also hope that during the course of this video, I've been able to at least change your mind somewhat, and if not, at least to lead you in a direction where you can find what it is that shows I'm telling the truth, in case you're actually interested, in case you actually care. Also, I want to state the fact that this video was not made for anybody but my dad. It's out in public because, well, speaking to my dad on anything is not something that is trustworthy, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, you know how we end these videos by now. It's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind.